my name is Kristen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a really juicy little yin yoga class. We'll be using a block, yoga block for class today. So if you have one, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have one, you can probably figure out something to take its place, like maybe a thick book or something else that kind of resembles this shape. So this will be a really grounding, earthy practice. I want you to go ahead and roll out your yoga mat, and we're going to get started in what's called dangling pose. So coming to stand on your feet, taking your feet about hips distance, maybe even a little more space between if that feels better in your body today. And bring that block right out in front of you. I want you to use the block to start as we make our way into this pose. And as we settle into it, you may decide that you want to, hi Kira, that you want to set the block off to the side, and that's fine as well. So folding forward over your legs, right away put a little buoyancy into those legs, a little soft bend in the knees. Let your upper body just drape down really heavy over your thighs. And let your head go. Release any tension you may be holding onto in the neck, in the shoulders, in the jaw, in the forehead. Hands to that block, just to give yourself some added support as we begin. And I just want you to start to breathe. Taking nice deep inhales. Nice deep exhales. Finding the strength in your standing legs here, really feeling the ground down beneath the soles of your feet, feeling that connection between you and the earth, letting yourself right here feel really grounded, really rooted. But then finding this softness, this release, the surrender through the upper body, noticing the effect of gravity on your spine, on your shoulders, on your jaw. Really letting yourself arrive into this moment by focusing your awareness on your breath. And so if you're not familiar with yin yoga, it's a really passive sort of yoga practice. We try to find lots of softness in the body. And just by nature of the style of yoga, we hold the poses for a lot longer than, say, a flow style of class. Sometimes from 2 minutes all the way up to 7, even 8 minutes. This allows us to work into the connective tissue of the body, the fascial network, the joints, the ligaments. And this also allows us a chance to come into stillness so that we can really start to become aware and notice whatever it is that we're experiencing in this moment. Noticing what comes up, what shows up in your physical body. Noticing what shows up in your mental body. Noticing what shows up in your emotional body, all without judgment. Just noticing, just letting yourself be the witness. And so we'll come into these postures. We'll find our edge in the pose. And then we'll become still and we'll breathe for an extended period of time. If over this period of time you feel your body start to open up, kind of hinting at a possibility of going deeper into the pose, exploring that second edge, then you can do that. So from here, that might look like releasing your hands down to the floor off of the block. You might even take a bind, holding onto your elbows. So just see what's possible for you. And there's no right or wrong at all, right? So listening to your body, giving it time to open, time to relax, and then really honoring whatever it's calling for today. Some days are going to be a little bit or even a lot different than others, and that's okay. So we'll take about 5 more breaths in this dangling pose together. Take an inhale. And exhale, release. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more rounds. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Nice. Last one. Inhale, fill up. And exhale. Release. Awesome work. So as we start to transition into our next pose, which will be yogi squat, I want you to heel toe your feet, and you can bring hands back up to the block if you need to sort of build the ground up to you. But heel toe your feet out nice and wide. Turn your toes out to a 45-degree angle. And then slowly start to sink your hips down, descending them down towards the earth as the crown of your head lifts up towards the sky. So we have options here. Option 1 is to take that block and put it underneath your seat. So giving yourself some extra support here. Totally fine to sit on the block. And then you can stay there for as long as you like. Option 2, bring the palms of your hands together. You can do this whether you're seated on the block or not. Elbows into the inner thighs. And gently use your elbows to press the knees wider apart from each other. So deepening that stretch in the inner hips. And from there, you're welcome to sit nice and tall, lifting your crown up towards the sky. So this is another really valid option here. Another option that I really like is to interlace my fingers, bringing the palms to the back of my skull and just kind of letting myself round down into the squat so that the upper back is rounding, the neck is rounding, and I'm sort of using those hands to pull myself down a bit deeper. Of course, not forcing my body to do something it doesn't want to, but just giving a nice little weighted assist. And so decide what works for you here. And we're going to be here for just a little bit longer, maybe a couple minutes. So 3 of our tenets in the yin practice is that we come into the pose at an appropriate depth, right? And only you know that depth. Only you are in your body. So you find your first edge. Principle number 2, we find stillness. Sometimes much easier said than done, I know that. Do your best. And finally, number 3, we hold for an extended period of time. So although those are sort of the steps that we follow in our yin practice, please know that you can always adjust and move around anytime you need to, especially if you're experiencing pain in your body. I always like to say that pain is a one-way ticket out of the pose. We never want to be in pain. However, there is a difference in pain and discomfort, right? And again, only you know where that line is drawn. Only you know the difference. Discomfort is okay, right? We practice discomfort on the mat because life is uncomfortable, right? It's all about how we show up to it, how we respond, how we react. And so one of the many benefits of practicing yin yoga is that it gives us this opportunity to learn how to become comfortable with the discomfort, right? Learn how to be with it. Learn how to sit in it. Learn that it's okay to lean into it, to breathe into it, to breathe through it. And so with that said, I invite you to come back into your breath, noticing your next inhale. Feel the rise as you breathe in. And then noticing your next exhale, feeling the fall as you breathe out. And again, we'll take 5 more breaths together right here. Take a deep breath in for 5. Exhale. Out through the mouth or out through the nose, whatever feels best. Breathe in for 4. Exhale. Breathe in for 3. Exhale. Breathe in for 2. Exhale. Good. Last one. Fill up. In breath. Completely empty on the out breath. Beautiful job. From here, we're going to start to transition into our next pose, which will be caterpillar pose or a seated forward fold. So depending on where you are, you might just plop right down into a seat. If you have a block underneath you, you're welcome to keep the block there. Even if you don't have a block underneath you already, you're welcome to bring a block there, especially if as you come into this shape, you experience any kind of tightness or strain in your low back. Sometimes just elevating your hips up over the knees can really give you some nice relief there. So you decide what you need. I'm actually going to come off of the block so I can show you another option. Both legs will stretch out nice and long. Go ahead and give your legs a little shake out here just to counter that hip opener that we were just in. Good. And then bringing your legs together, we're going to start to fold forward and round down over the thighs. Now, letting the spine round, letting the head go heavy, you are welcome to put a block like on your thighs to rest your forehead on. You can also take your legs a little wider and bring that block to the ground between your legs, resting your head down on that. You might even rest your head on your forearms or just let your arms rest down to the earth. So lots of choices here. Again, pick your poison, find what works best in your body today. Know that that is perfect. There is not one of these variations that's better than the other. This is all about what works for you. And we'll be in this one just a little bit longer than the others, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. I invite you to totally relax your toes, your feet, your legs. Keep some softness in the backs of the knees. Relax your hips. Feel yourself root down into the earth as you sit here. Finding almost a sense of heaviness as your body descends downward. But at the same time, can you find a sense of lightness? Softening through the shoulders, softening through the heart, softening through the face, softening the mind. So it's almost like this idea of duality, right? We can be 2 things at one time. We can be heavy, we can be light, we can be happy, we can be sad. As humans, we tend to be able to experience all these things and feelings at the same time. And so be open to whatever it is that comes up, the good, the bad, the indifferent. Just taking it all in and meeting yourself right where you are. No judgment. No need to change anything. Just letting yourself be in this moment, right here, right now. And again, this idea of playing the edges. Perhaps you've been hanging out in your first edge as I've been talking. Maybe you've started to sense your body opening, giving you permission to go a little bit deeper. And if so, you can listen. Explore that next edge, see what that feels like. If it's too much, back out. If it's a little uncomfortable, maybe you stay. See what happens over time as you connect back to your breath and to the sensations of your body. Letting your breath really start to calm your nervous system here. It's such a nice tool that we have, not just in our yoga practice, but in day-to-day life, to help bring our autonomic systems back into balance. So you might notice as you become really still, and as you're encouraged to stay still for an extended period of time, that your mind likes to start to wander. Right? When the body becomes still, the monkey mind comes back into play. And if that's the case for you, just acknowledge it, notice it, let it be, and then come back to your breath. Let the breath quiet your mind. Let the breath keep you right here in this moment. So we have about another minute here. You can stay right where you are, or perhaps you continue to explore your edges. And just letting gravity do the work. Letting yourself feel really grounded and supported. Noticing that connection between the backs of your legs, your heels, your hips, and the earth. Let's take 5 more breaths together. Take an inhale. And exhale, relax. 4 more times. Inhale. Exhale, release. 3 more. Breathe in, fill up. Exhale, let it go. Last 2. Really nice job breathing in. Breathing out. If you hadn't noticed, that's sort of the name of the game here. Last one. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then gently, slowly start to make your way back up. We were there for quite a long time, so take your time to come out of the pose. We'll take a little counter movement here as you rise up. Bring your hands back behind you. Bend your knees, plant your feet here, and just start to tick-tock your knees side to side. Just drawing little windshield wiper with your legs. Good. When that feels complete, we'll move into our next pose, which is supported bridge. So go ahead and bring that block with you. You'll lie all the way onto your back. Keep your feet planted here. Walk them in so that they're roughly underneath your knees. And then hold on to that block. You're going to press down into your feet. Lift your hips up off the ground, just enough to slide the block underneath your sacrum, which is right at the base of your spine. The block has low setting, medium setting, high setting, so you can decide what works best for you as you lie your hips down all the way onto the block, feeling completely supported here. Let's bring the arms down by the sides and just hold the earth. Feel your palms touching the ground. Maybe spread your fingers wide and just collect that earth energy into your body. And so you're welcome to stay right here. Option as well to walk your legs out nice and long. Bringing your heels to the ground and sort of just letting your toes fall out to the sides. It's going to take you deeper into sensation, so maybe you like that, maybe you don't. Adjust as you need to. Another option would be to come into butterfly legs. So bringing the soles of your feet together, Knees fall out to the sides and starting to open deeper into the inner hips and the groin. And then if you love this feeling of groundedness with your hands on the earth, stay right there. If you want a little opening for your shoulders, maybe reach your arms back behind your head and just take the tops of your hands to the ground behind you. So again, there's not a good, better, or best. You get to decide what works best for you in this moment. No pressure. Coming into your shape and then letting yourself become still there. If you find yourself distracted by external noise, like for instance, I have some construction going on behind my house right now. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's a little bit distracting to me. These little distractions take us out of the moment. So when you hear or sense those distractions, maybe they're external, maybe they're internal, maybe it's your own thoughts, gently bring your awareness back to your breath, right? Life is full of distractions. We're never in a place where we can just have total silence, right? And total stillness. It's a constant movement. It's a constant work in progress. It's a never-ending journey. So we do our best. We do our best to notice. We do our best to be with whatever it is that we're experiencing. And we do our best to stay grounded and to stay present. And the breath is just one of those amazing tools that allows us to do all of that. So we'll take a few more breath cycles right here. Relaxing your shoulders further and further with each exhale, really letting the weight of your hips be heavy on that block. Let your legs be heavy. Just finding as much passive holding as possible, meaning little to no muscular engagement. You may have some if your legs are bent and you're holding your knees upright, or if you're in a different position that requires a little bit of effort. I encourage you to find mostly ease, mostly softness, mostly surrender. So we'll be here for just about 30 more seconds, so not too much longer, but I do want to offer you supported waterfall for those 30 seconds. Keeping the block underneath you and just lifting your legs up towards the sky. You can even bring your arms up here as well. And as this is a really passive practice, I like to keep a soft bend in my elbows, keep some softness in the knees. Let your hips really stay heavy and supported by that block. Just enough muscular engagement to bring and keep your limbs upright. And then holding there for 5 more breaths. Let's take an inhale together, fill up. And an exhale together. Good, inhale. Exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. One more time, breathe in. As you exhale, slowly start to lower everything back down. If you lifted it up, if you have your legs stretched out long, go ahead and walk your feet back in. We'll lift the hips up just enough to slide the block out from underneath. Go ahead and set it off to the side. Extend both legs long, reach both arms back behind you. And we're gonna move into banana pose. So you'll keep your hips rooted. That's the biggest thing I see here is people wanna roll over onto one side. You're gonna stay on your back body, but just start to stretch your arms and your legs over to the right edge of your mat so that you're bringing your body into quite literally the shape of a banana, hence the name banana pose. And this is just a nice side body stretch. So start to feel and breathe into your left side body. With each inhale that arises here, can you create a little more space? Can you find some expansion, some length, some room to breathe into and out of? And as you exhale, just imagine that exhale carrying out any stickiness, any tension, any stress that you no longer need to hold on to. Do that 2 more times. We're not here for long. Inhaling into the left side body, expanding, filling up. And then exhaling to let go. One more on this side. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then gently ease your legs and arms through center, and we'll switch it out. So hips stay rooted, stay on the back body as you reach arms and legs over to the left. And start to notice how the right side body feels here. And as we take those 3 breaths together, just imagine that you could really create some space into that side, letting go of any stress. Taking an inhale to fill up, expand, rise, lift. And an exhale to release, let go. Set something down. 2 more times, breathing in. Breathing out. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out. Nice job, y'all. Make your way back to center. Real quick here, go ahead and hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Maybe find a little stretch for the low back. And then release into your final pose, your Shavasana. We'll take corpse pose for this one. So legs extended, arms extended out by the sides. Palms can face up traditionally here. That's what we would do. But if you like that idea and that feeling of groundedness with the palms facing down, feel free to do that here. And just take a moment to notice your body and the space that it's in. Feel the earth down below you. Feeling all those points of contact between your body and your mat or the ground. Feeling like a little element of pressure at those places where you make contact, where you have a connection. And let this feeling really guide you into a sense of support, of security, of stability. Each breath in here, maybe tapping into that inner strength, that inner knowing, wisdom, guidance, intuition. And each breath out, really grounding down into the security of that. Take a moment here to relax fully through your body. Notice if you're still holding tension anywhere. I noticed that my shoulders were kind of tensed up. Relax it down. Let your body melt down towards the mat. Soften. Give way to gravity. And let yourself just be for as long as you can, taking Shavasana. I will not be guiding you out of this one, but I do encourage you to stay for at least a couple minutes. This may be your only chance all day to do nothing. So please take advantage of it if you have the time and stay as long as you would like. Letting your mind rest, letting your body rest, and just letting yourself be as you are. Thank you so very much for watching this video, for supporting me, and most importantly, for supporting yourself, for carving out that little bit of time, for showing up to make yourself a happier, more fulfilled person. Know that the light and the love in me sees and honors the light and the love in you. Until next time, namaste.